Hi, and welcome to Amy's Opinions. Today I'm doing this solo. I just want to do a quick one where there's not going to be one next week, just give you guys a heads up. But today is the anniversary of a significant thing that happened in my life. Today's the anniversary that we were in a car wreck. Okay, a lot of people get in car wrecks. Ours was fairly minor, got T-bone, broke my collarbone, had to have surgery, had a little bit of pneumonia, gained 20 pounds because, wasn't moving as much, even though I wasn't eating as much. A lot's gone on this year. And like I have said in the past, this is a podcast more for my children to listen to when I'm not here. I got this idea because my dad died a little over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. So I'm sorry, this little bit's going to be choppy, but this is a podcast of me talking to my children about different things that we talk about every day and things like that. So I want to just reflect over what's happened in the last year. So when we were involved in our car accident, we had gone earlier in the day and watched our son get his national transporter certification that he worked very hard on, very proud of. So we went and did that. Then we were just kind of messing around, going to the grocery store. We were the third car to go through a light on a green, and we got T-boned by a car that didn't see the red light. Okay, no harm, no foul. Accidents happen. No one died. My husband had a little minor internal bleeding. I had a broken collarbone. Again, accidents happen. At that time, a year ago today, I was getting burnt out. I'm a nurse. I was getting burnt out because we've gone through COVID. We've gone through societal changes. We've moved. My dad died. My youngest was going away to college. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I was burnt out. I was burnt out in my professional life. I was burnt out in my personal life. I did not know where to go. This is a milestone in my life. Yes, I'm fat. First 1 minute, lost weight, gained it all back when dad died, gained more back when I was in the accident because I was not mobile. Okay, stuff happens. Stuff happens in life. But this is a milestone in my life. It made me put a pause and reflect on what's important. We went to a hospital I worked at. The care was excellent. They took care of both my husband and I. They made sure we were in the same room, which doesn't happen very often. So, don't count on that when you go to an ER. My son was working that day. They pulled him aside. They let him know, hey, we were in that car accident. We're all fine. My coworkers made sure to take care of me. And they went above and beyond to take care of me. I'm not talking just nurses and doctors. I'm talking nursing assistants, LPNs, even EVS workers, transporters, everyone that we came into contact, security guards, made sure we were okay. When we were initially in our car accident, not only did the driver who hit us get out because we couldn't get out, we were injured, and we just wasn't safe for us to move. But several passerbys stopped and made sure we were okay until the EMS crew got to us and the first responders got to us. I made sure, to call into work and say, hey, we're coming in. This is where we're going. Talk to my boss. She made sure to let my son know, hey, no harm, no foul. We're good. We're alive. Even though he thought we were playing a joke on him. Lewis, not something I would joke about, just so you know. So then, fast forward, I get released. My husband stays. Okay, we're hurt. People are expecting us to be angry this happened. Instead of being angry, I started looking at, okay, I can dwell on the negatives here, but let's look at the positives. No one died. We had insurance. The other guy didn't have as much insurance as we had, but okay, that's fine. We had insurance. My son was relieved of duty so he could help take care of us. They took care of us very well. We were released. My mom found out. She freaked out a little bit. She came back to take care of us, had surgery, had some time off, got flowers and notifications from work, people wishing us well, got excellent care throughout it all. So in the process of doing all this, and again, this is a year, my 18-year-old daughter, not only did she help me get changed, but I had injured my ankle on the left, broke my collarbone on the right, so it's kind of lopsided. She comes into the bathroom and she goes, Mom, do you need me to help wipe your butt? I don't know how many 18-year-old girls would want to do that for their moms. And no, I got it. But that made me think, my daughter loves me. My 20-year-old daughter was on vacation with her boyfriend's family, and they offered to fly her home so she could be there. And I'm like, no, don't interrupt your vacation, Alicia. I would have loved for you to come home. Trust me, I would have loved to. But at that time, I wanted you to live your life. And there was nothing that she could have done. My son grew up fast. He made all notifications to family members, everything else like that. We found out our insurance had lapsed because my husband just retired. We got that reinstated, so there was no lapse in coverage. We got, I had insurance through work where I was able to take short-term disability. So we still had a paycheck coming in from that while my husband's retirement was kicking in. My mom came out and helped with the kids and house, and I got some time off that I needed to, separate from my professional burnout. When I went back in to have surgery on my shoulder, everyone was really nice. My nurses took great care of me. The transporters took great care of me. EVS workers were coming by and saying hi to me. Security guards were making sure I was okay. Everyone went out of their way to take care of me. And that's why I went into healthcare. not to be taken care of, but to care for people in need when they need help. And I think a lot of people have lost sight of that in healthcare because people with COVID and the government wouldn't let people come into the hospital, and there was all these rules and social distancing and everything like that. People lost sight of the reason that people are in healthcare. You're in healthcare to take care of those in need, those who cannot take care of themselves at that time, to take care of their families who are scared and they don't know what to do, to teach them how to help and how to cope. That is what being in healthcare is about. It's not about, I get to work 3 days this week, maybe 4 days next week, and hey, yep, money. Trust me, the money that healthcare workers make does not even compare to the amount of work they do. I have gone from working on the floor to working in the management, back and forth, my whole career. And I can tell you there are days that I come home and I just cry because something happened. And there are days that, you really feel like you're burnt out. So seeing that part of being a patient, being taken care of, made me start realizing this is why healthcare is important. This is why I became a nurse, not for someone to take care of me, but so I could help someone in that situation. So if there's any nurses that listen to this, or you guys know any nurses or doctors or nursing assistants or healthcare workers, be nice to them, because when they come home, we don't always want to talk. We don't always want to do something. We just want to live. I have seen so many people lately where patients and family members think, okay, I can yell, I can scream, I can hit, I can punch, I can throw things, I can threaten things, and I'm going to get my way, when the healthcare worker is just trying to keep that person alive. And the ratios, I've seen ratios where we were at one point, way back in the day, on a med surg unit, I had 8 patients to 10 patients. On a tele unit, it was 6 to 8. And then I saw the ratios go down. I saw healthcare get better. But then with COVID, we saw these ratios creep back up, and people were chasing, hey, if I'm going to get beat up, if I'm going to have horrible experiences, I'm going to go where I make more money instead of staying in the communities to help take care of people. And that's a trend. And then we had our older nurses leave the profession because they were close to retirement, and they wanted to protect themselves, because there's a lot of healthcare workers who ended up getting sick, taking care of other people. And that's not abnormal. That's a risk you take in healthcare. So recovered, went back to work, different attitude. Things that would make me feel angry and upset, started looking at it a different way. Started looking at the way I used to look at it instead of when I was all upset. So, again, did some family stuff, really touched base with my family, made sure everyone was okay, encouraged my kids to continue their education so that way they're self-sufficient, because, I'm a nurturer. I like to help my kids out, and my kids are doing great. They're all in college. They're all working towards goals. This is what happened in the last year. Then my mom moved out here, so she could be closer, because I'm her healthcare power of attorney, not because, there's 5 of us, but I'm her healthcare power of attorney. And she needed a change after dad passed away. And so she moved out here. So we've been helping her get settled. And my kids have been great with that. My husband's been great with that. But there are things in life you have to choose. Do I look at it negatively and dwell on the bad things? Or do I look at, hey, things happen for a reason, and it's time to face that, why it's happening? Did I need a break from work? Yes. Did I need a break to reconnect with my family, because my work and life balance, while I was great at this time, I was so tired I wasn't connecting with my family, and I was in a panic because my youngest was going away to college. I hardly see my middle child because she's so independent, and she has a long-term boyfriend and things are serious with them, so she goes and does stuff with his family. My son, who's living at home and going to college and working, works different hours than I do. So, it's kind of different. Then my husband retired. I was a little stressed out. There was a lot of life changes happening. And this accident actually ended up being a blessing, because it made me pause, it made me stop and reevaluate what was important. And that's my message to my children. And if you guys listen to this someday and you're having a hard time, things happen for a reason. I'm not always going to be here to coax you through, but I want you to remember, things happen for a reason. If you take a moment and you just breathe and you work through it, sometimes the bad things have to happen so you can get to the good. And I know this sounds all, oh, life's good, life's good. Life's hard. Let's face it, life is hard, but it's also what you make of it. Instead of dwelling on the negative things, oh, I had a bad shift. Oh, this person made me mad. Oh, I got cut off. Why don't you look at the positive things? Did you get cut off, so therefore you had to slow down and maybe there was a speed trap up ahead? Did you have a bad shift because someone else was having a worse shift than you? Were you in the place where you were meant to be? And that's what you need to look at in life. You need to look at, things happen. Life's hard. Is everyone millionaires, gazillionaires? Guarantee those people have problems too. Is everyone poor? Guarantee those that are the poorest still have happiness. It's all about your perspective. So you can sit there and dwell on the negative things in life. Oh, I don't like this president. Oh, I don't like this law. Oh, I don't like going to the grocery store because this person was rude to me. You can look at all that stuff. Or you can find a little bit of humor and look at more of the positive things. Hey, this happened, but in the long run, this is what happened. Did this happen and I had to learn this lesson so I could appreciate this. So my message and my challenge to my children and anyone that wants to listen to this, look for 3 positive things a day. Just 3. If something wrong happens, something bad happens, stop, take a deep breath, take it one step at a time, work through it, and maybe it was something that you needed to learn so it doesn't happen again. Life is precious. Life's not always easy. Sometimes you have to work to get to the good parts. Sometimes it seems like the good parts happen to other people, and you don't know why. It may. That's their journey in life to take. Or they may be very good at hiding their hard parts that they have to go through to get to their good parts. Again, this is the anniversary of our accident, and this is going to be a short podcast. This is not, I know it sounds kind of preachy, but this is for my children. Thank you. Thank you for coming into my life. I love you guys like crazy. Thank you when mom and dad were hurt for stepping up and trying to take care of us and calling and making sure we were okay and coming and seeing us and helping out. Thank you to my coworkers who took such good care of me when we were in our car accident. And you know what? Thank God the person who hit us wasn't injured. That was something scary, but all those bystanders that came and helped, everyone that helped us through that, thank you. You were where you needed to be, because we needed every single one of you in our lives. Again, people come into our lives, we don't know why. Things happen, we don't know why. None of us is God. None of us. But look at the bright side of life. Maybe if more people did that, we would have less negativity in the world. I know that's a theme that I keep saying throughout my shows and when I'm talking to you guys. Look for the positives. We need more positive energy in this world. We really do. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say today. Again, it's short but sweet. I love you guys. There's not going to be a podcast next week. Going to take a break for a week, come back to it. But make sure if you listen to this or you watch this, you turn around and you hug someone or you thank someone. Because if you're having a hard time, guarantee there's going to be someone else who's having a hard time. And if you can get out of yourself and recognize you're not the only one having a hard time, maybe your hard time's not quite as hard as you thought it was. And if you can look for something positive, maybe, just maybe, your hard times gets a little easier. And if you can share your burden with someone and someone else will come pick it up, because trust me, if you come to me and you say, hey, Amy, I'm having a hard time, can I talk to you? I'll be there to listen. I'll be there to tell corny jokes. I'll be there to try to lighten your load, but lean on people when you need to. That's what love is about. Taking and receiving. Not just giving, not just giving, not just taking, but it's a circle, it's a balance. I love you guys and have a good day. Thank you.